What's better than waffles and chocolate? On today's episode of Craft Course, we're talking about Belgian beer. If you're living in America, Belgium's probably not a country that comes to mind that often. Matter of fact, most of us probably can't even find it on a map, much less tell us anything specific about it. And while that is a bit of an indictment on the American educational system, if you only know one thing about Belgium, it should be that it's one of the 4 great beer nations of the world, alongside the US, Germany, and England. Now, how did a tiny little nation sandwiched between 2 of the world's biggest economies grow to become a juggernaut of beer? Location, location, location. With France to the west, Germany to the east, and England just a short boat ride north, the history of Belgium has been largely decided by pretty much anybody except the Belgians. The Romans, the Dutch, the Spanish, the French, and the Germans have all taken their turns ruling the area, leading it to being one of the biggest cultural crossroads in all of Europe. I mean, they have 3 official languages. I can barely speak one. This cultural melting pot effect did the same thing to the beer as it did with pretty much everything else, blending styles, innovations, techniques, and traditions from across the region, all in Belgium. As a result, the country is home to more native beer styles than anywhere else on Earth. And Belgian brewers tend to see those styles more as loose guidelines than as hard limitations. That being said, there are some things that you can say about Belgian beers in general. First, a lot of the flavors and aromas are fermentation derived. This means that a lot of what you smell and taste is going to be coming from the yeast and bacteria taking the unfinished wort and turning it into finished beer, not directly from the malt and barley. This can actually lead to a few surprising flavors and aromas for people who have never tried Belgian beer before. Notes of bubblegum, clove, pear, and banana may seem surprising at first, but they're all pretty typical of the styles. The use of spices is another thing pretty common in Belgian beer. Everything from cardamom to grains of paradise to coriander to orange peel has been used in at least 1 or 2 recipes from across the country. Matter of fact, take a second and go to your spice rack. Pretty much everything in there has been used to brew at least 1 beer in Belgium, almost guaranteed. Sour beers are another thing that are pretty common in Belgium and pretty rare elsewhere. As a matter of fact, the sour beer tradition lasted in Belgium pretty much unbroken even after they'd faded into obscurity almost everywhere else. Spontaneous beers also are a living tradition over there, where the bacteria and the yeast just floating in the air are allowed to inoculate the beer and actually do the fermentation process. Now this leads to them having a complexity and a depth more on par with like a fine white wine. Now in future episodes we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of a focus in on some of these Belgian beer styles and go over a little bit of what makes them special. Until then, thanks for tuning in, stay safe, and stay positive. Craft Course is filmed at Carolina Beer Temple in the Queen City, Charlotte, North Carolina, and is a part of the Beer With Me network. I'm Aaron Gore, our producer is Ernest Stevenson, and if you're looking for other great shows, check us out on YouTube or at beerwith.me. Cheers! So how did a little nation sandwiched between 2 of the world's biggest economies become such a juggernaut of the beer world? That's an excellent question. Wait, there's more. With France to the west, Germany to the east, and England just a short boat ride to the north. With France to the west, Germany to the east, and England just a short boat ride north. Oh man. All right. With France to the west, Germany to the east, and England just a short boat ride north, Belgium has... We can do this, I believe. I forgot the joke. There's a joke. It's not a good one, but it's there. All of Europe. I know it. I promise. I don't. You will. With France to the west, Germany to the east, and England just a short... Yeah. With France to the west, Germany to the east, and England just a short... With Germany, not Germany, they're not to the west. All I know is whoever ran this place before you did, Jared, must have been extremely handsome and smart and smelled good. It's great with the ladies and, you know, really good at, like, you know, nunchucks and stuff. Please tell me you're still recording. All right. Now he's definitely not getting a tip.